I grew up near Lake Ashwood. It wasn't a famous lake, just a quiet stretch of water surrounded by forest. Most people came there to fish. Some came to camp, and during summer, families brought their kids to swim. I had been visiting that lake for almost my entire life. That's why I knew something wasn't right the day I found it. It was late August. The weather was perfect. Warm sun, clear skies, barely any wind. I arrived at the lake early that morning with my fishing gear. The place was completely empty, which was unusual. Even on weekdays, there were usually at least a few people around. But that morning, nobody was there. I remember thinking how peaceful it felt. I walked along the shoreline looking for a good fishing spot. That's when I noticed something floating in the water. At first, I thought it was driftwood, a large dark object bobbing near the edge of the lake. But as I got closer, I realized it wasn't wood. It was a backpack, an old blue backpack, half submerged in the water. I used a long branch to pull it closer. The bag was soaked, heavy, and covered in mud. I almost left it alone. Then I noticed a name written on the side, Aiden Parker. The name sounded familiar, very familiar. Then I remembered why. 3 days earlier, local news had reported that a 12-year-old boy named Aiden Parker had gone missing. His family had been searching nonstop. Police had searched the surrounding area. Volunteers had combed the woods. Nobody had found anything. Until now. A bad feeling settled in my stomach. I immediately called the police. They arrived about 30 minutes later. The officers took the backpack and began searching the area. Divers were called in. Boats arrived. The entire lake became an active investigation. By evening, they found nothing else. No sign of Aiden. No sign of how the backpack got there. The police thanked me and eventually left. But something about the situation bothered me. I couldn't explain it. The backpack wasn't floating in deep water. It had been close to shore, almost like someone had placed it there. That thought stayed with me all night. The next morning, I returned to the lake. I told myself I was going fishing. But really, I wanted answers. The shoreline looked exactly the same. Quiet, still, empty. Then I noticed something strange. Footprints. Fresh footprints in the mud. Small ones, like a child's. They led away from the water and toward the woods. My heart started racing. Police had searched this area yesterday. Those footprints hadn't been there. At least I didn't think they had. I followed them. The trail wound through the trees for several hundred meters. Then suddenly, the footprints stopped. Just stopped. No return footprints. No signs of anyone turning around. Nothing. I stood there staring at the ground, trying to make sense of it. Then I heard something. A splash behind me, back toward the lake. I turned immediately. Silence. The woods were empty. I waited, listening. Nothing. After a few minutes, I headed back. The moment I reached the shoreline, I froze. The water was moving, not from wind, not from fish. Something large was swimming just beneath the surface. I could see the shape, long, dark, moving slowly. I stepped backward. The shape stopped. Then it changed direction and started moving toward me, fast. I ran. Instinct took over. I didn't stop until I reached my truck. By the time I looked back, the lake was calm again, completely still. A week later, police finally found Aiden, or at least they found what was left of him, deep in the forest, miles away from the lake. The official report said he had gotten lost, died from exposure, a tragic accident. Case closed. Most people accepted that explanation. I didn't, because the day after the funeral, I went back to Lake Ashwood one final time, and there, resting exactly where I found the backpack, was another item floating in the water. A red sneaker. Small, child-sized. I recognized it immediately. It belonged to Aiden. The same sneaker police had already recovered with the body. I know what I saw. I know what was in that lake, and I've never gone back. Because sometimes, late at night, local fishermen still report seeing something moving beneath the surface. Something large. Something watching from the water, waiting for someone else to come too close.